Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Where can Cecilia go to escape?
What is the end of this movie?
And how do you hide from someone that's invisible?
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig.
And welcome. We're doing another movie.
Yeah, and we're not going to really do 4 necessarily.
Because we flubbed on that. It's the month of Halloween, and we
really should have done 4 for all this month, and we overlapped because of,
The last set of
skipped
4,
weeks.
yeah.
And yeah. So we're just going to do kind of following up a little bit to last year when we...
Around this time last year, we did the
4
OG
classic...
monster movies.
We did 4 of them. We didn't do The Invisible Man, so
did
maybe
not.
we'll do that next week. We'll do back-to-back Invisible Men. How's that? Because I have it at home.
All right. Sounds good to me. I haven't seen it yet.
But currently, we're going to talk about the
New Invisible Man,
Invisible
from
Man
this year.
from this year that, I mean, it's basically well, first of all, before we do that, how about I'm going to answer those questions. Nowhere, you don't know, and you can't. Anyway.
All right,
But
sure.
Here's the basic premise. They took a movie from the 30s, maybe 40s.
I don't remember.
Where
30s or 40s,
someone took a
Potion.
Well, we'll get into that next week when we review
Yeah.
that. But they took a movie that had nothing to do with this movie, and they made it scientifically plausible and an allegory for spousal abuse.
Oh, big time.
I mean, that's the whole movie was. I don't know how many times in the first, 5 minutes of the film we were, and I say film because it was that good, not just a movie.
Yeah.
But in the first 5 minutes, how many times did I bring up that Enough movie with J-Lo when she was
J-Lo.
escaping with her kid from the abuse? I mean,
But this one seems far
and then
more
you ended up
grounded.
watching that with your mom.
This one
and
seems far more grounded, though.
Yes, the one where people are disappearing and invisible is more grounded than the one where the girl fights back.
Yes.
You are smart as a whip.
All right.
Anywho, so basically, yeah, that's the premise. Woman has to get away from an abusive man. He has the ability to make himself disappear, fakes his death, or does he? We'll not
There's
get into
a lot
that
of
here.
questions.
There's not, if you actually watch the movie, but he sits there on his phone like this because why pay attention to something we're reviewing when he could be talking to someone that's not about the movie? Because he can multitask. By the way, he can't
I
task.
barely single task.
Yeah, he can't task.
All
But
right.
anyway, before we get too far into it, why don't we roll the trailer and let people see what we're discussing?
Adrian. He was a sociopath. He said that I could never leave him.
He controlled how I looked and what I wore. Then it was controlling when I left the house. And eventually, what I thought.
I'm sorry, I can't take not gonna leave you with that thing on. Are you okay? What happened to him?
Adrian's dead.
Listen, you're getting your freedom back, okay?
He said that wherever I went, he would find me. Walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him.
Adrian is dead.
He's not dead. He has figured out a way to be invisible.
Are you okay?
He's sitting in that chair. Where are you? Show yourself!
Surprise. Let me help you.
You can't help me. Surprise.
Anyway, all right. So, anything you want to say before we get into the body of the show? Anything else about the plot?
I mean,
stuff.
If you haven't seen it before we go ahead and spoil everything, go.
Oh
and
my
find a
God,
way.
you are so bad with the puns. If you haven't seen The Invisible Man, really?
Oh, I didn't even. Oh, that's dumb. If you haven't viewed, watched, enjoyed,
If your eyeballs haven't embraced.
embraced this movie,
Anyway.
find a way.
But before we get into the behind the scenes, we also have to make our money here. And how do we do that? We advertise real products that actually exist and make fat stacks of cash so that we can make it rain upon the ladies.
Right.
And here's how we do it. This week, we're going to advertise for these real things. Gory Storytime is brought to you by Getting Away With It, the new board game from GST Games. Getting Away With It is the fast-paced game where you commit crimes and use your wealth to escape prosecution. Violence, theft, and more can be done with impunity if you grease the right palms. Based on the rules of real life. Getting Away With It. Look for it today.
Based on the rules of real life. All right. It's good. It's good. And by bad self-help books. These self-help books will totally screw up your whole life. Some titles include Don't Internalize, It's Their Fault. They Are Out to Get You. 10 Rules for Highly Ineffective People. No One Believes You. And the best-selling, Get a Good Job Because No Ladies Will Date You for Free. All of these and more available soon. Warning, don't use any advice from these books ever.
All right.
All right.
All right, now let's actually get... Oh,
Into the meat and
yeah,
beef of the show.
that's after. Okay, so you want to go first?
Sure.
All right.
First, how are we going to pronounce her name?
Lee?
Lee? All
Yeah,
right.
that's how you pronounce Lee. So,
Well, that doesn't look like Lee to me.
well, that's Lee, the female version. It's not Lee, L-E-E, but it is... It's just...
All right, okay.
Reed.
Lee Wanell, what?
Nothing, it's just... Juanel.
Juanel.
Cool whip.
Whip.
Anyway.
Okay, chose not to have an opening establishing Cecilia's
predicament
with Adrian because I wanted to just drop the audience into Cecilia's situation without any backstory and make them feel everything through her. And luckily, I had Elizabeth Moss, who is very good at communicating a lot to the audience without saying anything.
The film was originally going to be part of the Dark Universe, with Johnny Depp starring as the titular character, and Ed Solomon writing the screenplay, but changes were made to the Dark Universe to focus on individual storytelling and moving on from the shared universe concept after the box office failure of The Mummy, which itself was an attempt to reboot the Dark Universe after the box office disappointment of Dracula Untold, which was the
Also,
Dark Universe. All of it.
All of those were bad, sad remakes, and then this came out. Right. The post-shower sequence originally included a shot of a handprint on the shower door, the very shot used in both the trailer and the Blu-ray/DVD cover art. But they removed it as he felt Cecilia's discovery of the pill bottle was chilling enough. So when I said I didn't remember it, that was real.
But when I showed you the trailer, you should have remembered it because it showed it.
In the trailer, not in the movie. It just said that. I was right.
Wait, no, you said you didn't remember her taking a shower. She still took a shower.
Oh, yeah, whatever. That part, but...
That's the part I was like, you don't remember
the...
Anyway.
Whatever.
Winnell and his crew used a combination... Oh, it's a guy named Winnell. Okay. And his crew used a combination of old-school techniques and state-of-the-art CGI wizardry to bring the Invisible Man to life, with some scenes requiring fully green-suited character that can be painted out later, and others achieved with nothing more than a simple bit of string. Well, with, say, the fight scenes, that was a real mixture of things, he said. We had Lizzie being pulled around in wires. We had a stunt person in a green suit who had to be removed digitally. But then also in those scenes, we would use really old school practical effects like pulling doors closed with string. Some props guy would be hidden in a cabinet and he would pull this piece of string and a door would close or a cabinet would open. It made you realize how you do a visual effect doesn't matter. It's the end result that matters.
The character of Adrian's brother, Tom, is meant to feel as if nothing about him fits, and that's made literal in his costume. His suits are a couple sizes too small to complete the subtle image, and Dorman loved it.
That's the guy who played Tom.
Oh, okay.
As a fan of the opening title sequences, Winnell wanted to film the feature titles that are simple yet speak volumes about the film itself. The one here, Waves Crashing Against Rocks, briefly showing the titles before dripping away, came to him on set. He soon discovered that water is the most difficult thing to get right with CG. No, human faces.
Human faces
are way harder.
Those things look horrendous if you get it bad. And even if you get it good, they can look really weird.
I mean, the two Star Wars movies that brought one person back to life and did a young version of another person, Leia, I'm not going to lie.
Those... I didn't notice in Rogue One.
I did, and it bumped me because they... But anyway, we're not here to discuss Rogue One.
Yeah.
But it did bump me.
Pine trees aren't native to Australia, which is where the movie was filmed. So the sequence where Cecilia runs into the night amid pine trees was actually shot at a plantation where they're grown for furniture and Christmas trees. If the sun was up, you would see that these pine trees are planted in really neat rows, not natural at all.
The house interiors are made of 4 different actual houses. Adrian's bedroom, for example, is actually the living room of a house in Sydney.
Oh. Whoops. All right. I'll just go on to my next one then. The attic scene originally saw Cecilia finding more than just the phone, knife, and portfolio. She found food that he'd been eating. She found a little stack of her clothes, including her underwear, and some of it is still visible in the corner at 55 and 1 second, and the shot that follows.
The first name of the main character, Cecilia, is derived from the Latin casus, which means blind or eyeless. Apparently, she cannot see the Invisible Man. She's frequently called C in the film, which is pronounced like S-E-E. Haha, clever.
Due to the closure of the movie theaters during the COVID-19 pandemic, Universal announced that the movie will be available to rent from Friday 20th, March 2020 with 48-hour viewing windows for $19.99.
Well, that's handy information currently.
Yeah.
Winnell enjoys weaponizing the audience's knowledge of movies against them, and opening sequence is filled with examples where viewers expect things that don't happen, including mirror scares to Adrian's eyes opening.
One way they made the Invisible Man seem so real without using any VFX was through frequent calculated panning shots. In most films, the camera pans to a specific character or object to focus the audience's attention. The other key to making the cinematography scary was to use the negative space, and the audience is never quite sure.
You skipped.
The negative space. They filmed lots of empty spaces where the character might be, even though you can't actually see him, and the audience is never quite sure. Much of this is accomplished through unusual framing, leaving extra space around or behind Cecilia. The viewer assumes he's standing in the corner or sitting in the chair, which makes the audience uneasy. For example, in the interrogation scene, the corner of the room is bare and in frame, so Cecilia and the audience assume he's standing right there in the shot, listening to everything. One of the kitchen scenes is a wide still shot. It lingers for a while, for
A long
It
time.
lingers for a long time after Cecilia leaves the frame. This was intended to be a moment for the audience to frantically search the image for any signs of him. Winnell says he wanted you to be afraid you would miss something. The director confirmed the Invisible Man is in most of those shots, but only he knows exactly which ones. There are only a few where the character is not present where we think he might be.
Lee Winnell told cinematographer Stephen Dusko that this horror movie would feature plenty of light, as an invisible man doesn't need to hide in the darkness, and he kind of groaned with pain because cinematographers love darkness. The attic scene is a little gift that he gave to Dusko. They lit it with just the flashlight.
Armie Hammer and Alexander Skarsgård were the studio's top choices for the titular character.
Alexander Skarsgård's the one that played on True Blood, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Anyway, the shot collar device that Cecilia takes off of Zeus and puts in her bag is presumably the way that Adrian tracked her, because the letter about his passing was in the mailbox before her sister arrived to tell her of the passing. Oh, you mean the rich guy that was looking for her sent her a letter saying he was dead? Because the lawyer wouldn't have known that, but the lawyer wouldn't have tracked his brother's dog.
All right, whatever.
Oh, more of my proof.
Whatever. On February 22nd, 2020, during an interview with Cinema Blend's Real Blend podcast, Winnell stated that the film was never planned to be part of any cinematic universe, including the Dark Universe. He stated it was weird. This film came out in a really random time. It wasn't like I plugged into some kind of world building. I had just finished Upgrade. They called me for a meeting with some of these Universal and Blumhouse execs. I go to this meeting, and they didn't really want to talk about Upgrade. I mean, they said they liked it, and they moved on. So I'm sitting on this couch thinking, what am I here for? What is this meeting about? And they started talking about the Invisible Man.
They used a robotic camera rig that could be programmed to shoot each take with the exact timing and movement. This allowed them to capture both the take and the stuntman with one clean take without him. Editors could then merge the two shots and digitally erase them afterwards.
The bedroom scene starting at 32 and 4 seconds. Cecilia and Sydney sleeping was a pickup shot filmed in Toronto after wrapping in Australia, meaning the set decoration had to be shipped to Canada. The first test screening led Jason Blum to ask Lee Winnell if Lee Winnell wanted to do any reshoots. Winnell's response was to redo the sequence where Cecilia wakes up to the pictures being taken while she slept. The original version is glimpsed in the original trailer, showing the phone floating in the air, but I felt that the scene could be more tense.
The opening sequence had original music written for it, but Lee Winnell and the sound design team felt it worked better with silence and the crashing of waves, which was true.
And then Rotten Tomatoes.
Where is it? Okay, the people have it at 88%.
And the critics have it at 91%.
All right. Now, what was your favorite scene of this movie? Let's go with favorite.
I don't know that it's a specific scene because I just love just about everything in this movie. But the concept of using something that has been used in real life to make an invisible suit, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's great because it's like...
They tried to make it more realistic than I drank a potion or whatever it was.
Right.
You know?
It's like, okay. I really liked that.
Yeah. I'm going to say I liked the fact that they really did a lot of commentary on abusive spouses and, you know, the importance of getting the hell out of there. You know? There's so many people that feel like they're stuck in those situations that, like, I thought that was a good message to push.
Definitely.
Least favorite.
I guess, and this is really nitpicky and it makes the movie work, so it's, you know, wrong, but the fact that you're supposed to like, at first, it seems like you're supposed to like the brother character, the lawyer, because, oh, he went through the same...
It never made it like you
Yeah.
liked it. He was a dink the first time they
No.
met. Yes.
No, because he was like,
He's
I
like,
also hated my brother, I
but
understand.
you're crazy. Is like, every time she came to him, including the first time, he's like, you know you're crazy. He's dead. And she's like, nah, he's watching me. He's like, no, he just fooled you because you're dumb and crazy. Like, you're not supposed to like him. He basically...
Well, whatever. Yeah, I made up a reason then, because I don't... Yeah, I like this movie.
He sat there the whole time on his phone, not really watching the movie. So he didn't actually review the movie because he heard some of it.
He doesn't know.
Anyway, I do know. I was there. I kept saying, put your gosh darn phone down. Except I didn't say gosh darn.
And you didn't say phone either.
Yeah. What?
What?
The hell did you have in your hand?
I don't know.
I thought you were playing with your phone. Anyway, my least favorite part... my least favorite part was probably arguing about it with him. Because he didn't pay enough attention. They actually outright said things. And then he argued with the outcome of the film. And this isn't the first time he's done that. He argues about the ending of Joker. He argues about the ending of a lot of things.
Okay, that one a lot of people argue about,
Okay,
so eat poop.
But this one spelled it out, and you're like,
Yeah,
no!
it did spell it out. And then you said, not the spelled out thing.
Oh, except for they spelled out the part I said, and you're like, I didn't watch that part because I was on the phone.
False.
Okay.
False.
False that he said that, not false that he did that.
No,
Anyway,
false.
on a scale of 1 to 10,
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna give this movie a 9.
I mean, yeah, that's about right. I'm gonna say 9.
Yeah.
9 out of 10.
And I guess I'm only knocking off a point because, like, I hate the idea of abuse. But,
I mean-
the acting was great. The special effects were amazing.
Yeah, but you can enjoy this movie and hate abuse because it's an anti-abuse movie.
But it's like...
It's about getting
you know,
away from your abusers.
Well,
so.
yeah, but they could have done, you know, a monster movie with the monster movie remake.
I mean, the Invisible Man, they actually made him a monster. Think about it. He was a scientist that wasn't really a bad guy. We'll have to watch the other one. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
I always
Alright.
thought it was weird. Kind of like when
Yeah,
they
'cause
said
it's
the
like-
Hunchback of Notre Dame. He's one of the Universal monsters, and I'm like, the guy that got
Really?
picked on by everyone because he was deformed at birth. Ooh, yeah, what a bad monster! Like, how is
or
he in that group?
Frankenstein, it's like,
Well,
really?
the Doctor was supposed to be the monster,
Right,
if you think
and-
about it.
well,
Well, the Doctor is Frankenstein. The other
Right.
one's the creature.
right.
But anyway.
Yeah, not here to talk about those movies. So, yeah,
No.
we're both going with a 9 then. Look at that.
Yeah. So,
That stuff on this side of the screen. You can watch the show on Fact TV channel 1076, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
you can like us on Facebook, and when I say like us, I mean you can like the Facebook page for Gory Storytime, the Facebook page for Fact TV. If you did, you could actually be watching this streaming live. If so, hey.
So.
If not, and you're watching this some other time, hey.
Yeah. If you're watching this some other time, good job.
You're still watching it, so,
So,
hey.
thanks for the views, guy. You can go...
girl.
Or girl.
Sexist little...
Hey guys. You can watch this show on I'm making things up now. You can go to fact8.com and watch back episodes of this. You can watch other shows that they have. They have board meetings, everything you could ever love.
I don't know if anyway. You can also follow us on the Twitter. Mine is at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase.
I'm at Jason T. Jake 17, capital J, capital T, capital 17. No, capital J, capital 17. There I go with the dumb joke that I'm going to keep going with.
Which you don't really use much because
I'm stuck on the other one.
That you wouldn't even tweet a good tweet this morning.
Nope.
But anyway.
Until next time, I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig.
And sweet dreams.